Hey practice buddies, how's it going? So I thought it'd be really interesting and fun today. Well, maybe not fun for me, but you guys requested longer practice videos, so here it is. And then I thought, okay, well, what else could I do? You know, maybe I could challenge myself in one of the most difficult pieces on the violin to practice. We are going to do the Emile Sauret Paganini Violin Concerto Cadenza. All right, it is definitely on a scale of 1 to really difficult. It is the most difficult thing. So I'm looking at the music here and yeah, it looks pretty tough, I have to say. Wow, there's so many arpeggios. So a bit of a disclaimer about this particular cadenza. I have never performed it before. I tried to study it when I was about 19 years old. I remember one summer I tried to study it and I just completely gave up. It was so difficult and I haven't touched it since then. Whenever I perform this concerto, I always use another cadenza called the Wilhelmi cadenza, which is also very difficult too, but not as crazy as this one. So the challenge for myself is basically, I'm gonna try and see what, you know, a couple of hours of practicing will do, if I can make a big enough of a dent in it. I'm not trying to get it to performance perfection. I think it would just be really interesting, hopefully for you guys too, to see if you throw enough hours at something, even if you felt like it was impossible, hopefully you can make it happen. All right, so I'm rosining up my bow, and yeah, I've got my glass of water back there. I'm pretty much ready to go. It's just, I'm a little bit nervous actually, because obviously there's no, yeah, I'm not performing this piece anytime soon, so there's no real like deadline, but you know, that also means that I really haven't had any sort of inclination or any sort of motive to get this, to learn this. All right, here goes nothing. Oh yeah. That's a high note. Basically trying to get it where it feels like I can feel where the next note is. I mean, which is really difficult because it's like, since when do we hang out like in the stratosphere, you know? I mean, I know violinists play high, but like this is really, really high. So using that open D string, we quickly have to jump and get in position. Okay. Okay, sort of. I can get the first note, but the rest of it is a little bit tricky. I'm trying to use the harmonics, just kind of like when we shift during the open strings. I'm trying to use the harmonics to also, because you know, to leap to the next note. Because you get, while that's ringing, the note's ringing, you can kind of leap to the next note. So harmonics and open strings during these kinds of crazy runs are definitely your best friend. All right, let's try the those two lines. Okay, so I'm not worried so much about, you know, the tempo right now. I'm just trying to, some runs obviously like these thirds, I'm not playing it as fast as I would ideally like to in the end result, but you know, that's sort of one of those things that it just takes time. Each day you kind of add a drop of oil or grease to the machine and it'll just run faster eventually. So adding a slide to a harmonic when you're trying to reach for it will make sure that you don't overshoot it, right? Versus, you know, that can be very, very risky. All right, moving on. You know, some people up here, they just kind of like, I've got to try and maybe like that. That sounds cool. Okay, that's a harmonic. No, that is not a harmonic. It's just so high that my finger doesn't have to press down as hard. Okay, so at some point during that run, I switched from ricochet into just an E minor scale. Okay. So it seems like, you know, people have a bit of, in cadenzas, especially in Paganini cadenzas, it seems like you have a bit of a leeway. So in terms of, you know, cuts, especially in this cadenza, because I think the grand total of this cadenza is like 6 minutes long, which would make it like one of the longest, if not the longest cadenza in violin repertoire. So I'm gonna go ahead and change this this D major arpeggio into something that still sounds like a D major arpeggio, still sounds virtuosic, but kind of makes it, I don't know, because right now it seems like there's an odd number of waves. So I'm trying to make a mental anchor. The reason why I keep looking like I'm about to throw up is because I'm trying to make a mental anchor, like right there. And then again. There you go. Yeah, something like that. All right, so we've been at it for about, whoa, like, yeah, 30 minutes, I would say. Let's just, today's section, we're just gonna do this little section. Is that passable? Maybe if I do that, huh? Yeah, that sounds, at least the top note kind of attracts all the attention. This requires some time, so I'm just gonna go ahead and practice now. Okay, so I've been at it for about another 20 minutes myself, and just basically doing the same thing that you saw me doing. I mean, if you're not tired of it yet, you would be by now, trust me. But yeah, just sticking to this section. We're not moving on in the cadenza because, you know, learning something new, it's kind of like imagine picking up grains of sand, and the sand keeps going through your hands. What you need to do is strengthen those muscles so that you can, you know, that in the mind, so that you can close your hands as much as possible so that less sand, yeah, I guess, goes through your hands. But until you familiarize yourself with the piece, it's just, you just gotta keep doing the same motion until you finally get it. Especially for such a technical passage, I would say that this kind of stuff is like 95 or 99% muscle memory. You know, so yeah, that's you know, you can figure the music out along the way, but yeah, for now, it's just slow practice. So you can see it's already getting, like I like to say, it's becoming a shape now. It's like you're making this kind of, you're building something and you're slowly starting to see the shape, the outline of the piece, of what the finished product could be. And yeah, when you get to this stage, it's just a matter of continuously not to try to rush, because otherwise you know, something might break off and then you'll have to restart everything all over again. But to just carefully, you know, it's you're using the finer tools now, right? Before you could use a hammer, now you're using the finer tools. You can't use that hammer again in this moment, because otherwise you're just gonna mess things up for yourself. So it's getting there, it's getting better. And so slowly, yeah, you'll be able to see the improvement, you'll be able to feel it. And remember, try not to rush. You're planting your seeds, right? You're planting your seeds and it's gonna grow, it's gonna sprout. Just because you feel like, oh my gosh, it's, you know, don't try to harvest the fruits of your labor before they are actually, you know, ready. Otherwise, you end up trampling all over your carefully planted seeds, and you have to start all over again. Yeah, so you see what I just did there. It's a matter of kind of making things slowly, building them slowly until you get them fast, and then you have a block here. then you have another block there, and then you try and join them together. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. If it doesn't, you slow it down again. So anyway, this is really complex, and yeah, it's putting me to the test. So thanks for watching, guys, and I hope this helped you guys. And let me know if you have any questions. Remember, we're just only going to this section here today, and yeah, maybe there'll be more tomorrow. All right, bye for now.